Lately, I've been thinking a lot about firewood. On the homestead, springtime is the time to be thinking about and harvesting firewood for the coming winter. I first begin by taking stock of my current piles. I pick up a piece from this pile to see how heavy it is and estimate how it's seasoned through the winter and why. Some piles season faster than others because it was covered too much and didn't get enough airflow through it, or it wasn't covered enough and got wet. I rearrange my piles and restack logs so they dry better. A pile I'd harvested late in the fall of last season is already dry enough to burn as is, and is, in fact, the best firewood I have currently. I have to work hard and quickly. I haven't been working quickly enough because it's already April, and I need all the rounds cut from the trees before the hottest months of summer. During July and August, the forest becomes a tinderbox, and one spark from my chainsaw could burn everything down. So July and August are used to split and stack logs instead. I need a winter's supply of wood before the summer. Anything more that I happen to gather in the fall is just a bonus, making my job the year after all that much easier. I live in British Columbia, but I'm from Alberta. Having grown up in another place, I can't help but keep glancing back to see how I would have fared there if I would have stayed. The power situation in Alberta hasn't been great this year. Just this week, power companies have had rolling brownouts where they've had to turn off power to people's homes in a rotating cycle to ensure that there was enough power to go around. Now, it's not as though people lost power for hours, only up to 15 minutes at a time, but losing power showcases the precarity of our lives. Power is how we heat our homes. In Canada, it's how we survive because an unheated home means death. Winter in Canada has long been a season both feared and respected, that is, until we invented ways to allow us to live in comfort for little effort. I think that we've stopped fearing and respecting the season of winter, which is both a good and a bad thing. During these times of power loss, I am grateful for my stove and the wood that heats my home. No matter which way we toss it, we produce pollution. That is simply the way of it. Through the very simple act of existing, we affect the natural world around us. The most remarkable thing about heating my home with firewood is that I can see and I'm an active participant in this destruction I cause in order to survive. At the same time, I've gained a new perspective on trees that I never had before. I watch the cycles of nature. My forest needs to sustain myself and my family for our lifetimes and even for generations that come after us. My trees are precious and I can't go cutting them down without care. Instead, I watch. I observe which ones are dead or dying. I watch as they fall so that those ones can be used. My forest is a renewable resource that will help our family and some members of our community survive through another winter. I handle the wood. I watch as my machine cuts the logs into unnatural rounds. I split and stack and restack. I am patient, working with the seasons and the weather. I found myself thanking the trees I watch the fire heat my home as the snow piles up outside or the rain drums on the roof of my house. A tree has given its life to sustain mine, and I'm grateful, respectful, and in awe. Living in cities has caused us to lose this respect for nature. It is easy to turn a blind eye to the destruction we cause to survive because it is not every day that we see it. It is not sustainable for everyone in Canada to heat their homes with wood, but the massive scabs on our earth are hidden from us. Instead, we sit on our couches and listen to scientists and politicians tell us just how bad things are getting. I see the trees that I cut down. I see the wood chips from my chainsaw on the ground. I see the bark that falls off at the slightest touch when the firewood is ready to be used. I see the smoke rising from my chimney to pollute my air. I see the way my life impacts the natural world around me, and I've grown a different perspective on it. Bearing witness to the ways in which I alter the environment around me has caused me to want less. Do I want a larger space to live? Do I need this thing made from plastic? How can I show my environment more respect? Some Indigenous peoples in Canada think that everything has a spirit. The more time I spend in nature, the more I understand this perspective. I never thought that I would give my thanks to a tree for providing heat for my home in a similar fashion that a hunter would give thanks to a deer that provided their family with meat, or the fisher thanking the fish. I know that I won't be able to do this forever. Maybe I will end up in an accident tomorrow. Maybe I will get sick. Or maybe I will simply continue harvesting firewood each winter until I grow old. I feel grateful to have this experience and be able to live in nature because I know that it is a privilege, and not everyone is able to do it.